going on? This is Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed.
Let me talk to him.
Hello, WWE Universe in the Philippines. This is Charlotte.
Hey everyone, this is Jeff Cobb.
I have to finish the story.
We are pretty deadly. Yes, boy. Yes, boy.
Run!
Bang! The sniper is shooting you down. This is TMDK's Robbie Eagles.
Hey, this is the Cosmic Cactus, Paul London.
Hello, my name is Ilya Dragunov. This is Czar, the NXT champion, and you're listening to...
And you're listening to...
And you're listening... And you are listening...
And you're listening
to the Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling Podcast.
To the Wrestling Podcast. Yeah.
You're listening to the longest-running weekly episodic Filipino wrestling podcast. This is the Wrestling Podcast. Stan CEO, Moran, Chino Liao, and Emile Nate with our Picks of the Week episode. So this is for those of you who just don't have enough time and bandwidth to catch everything. So we've cherry-picked our favorites from the week that was. Before we get to our picks, remind you once again that the February batch of the Wrestling Podcast Pasabay has officially opened. So you can get your favorite wrestling merch from WWE Shop, Pro Wrestling Tee, Shop AEW, any store that sells wrestling merch. Na basta tinatanggap yung credit card namin, pwede dun. Go check out tinyurl.com/WWP Feb Pasabay. Again, that is tinyurl.com/WWPFEBPASABUY, or go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Wrestling Podcast, to be part of this week's Pasabay batch. We've also got the Elimination Chamber Perth viewing party happening at Skinny Mike's BGC on Saturday, February 24. That's going to be at 5:30 p.m. local time kasi same time zone tayo as Perth. You can get your tickets over on facebook.com/Wrestling Podcast. 350 pesos for the early bird tickets, 450 pesos for walk-in. Both come with a free iced tea. So we'll catch you at Skinny Mike's on February 24 for the Elimination Chamber Perth viewing party. Let's get to our picks of the week. And we're going to start with Chino, who has another unconventional pick here.
It is an unconventional pick. I rarely pick theme songs, walkout music, as picks of the week. But I did have to pick this one because it is the Guns' new theme, quote-unquote new theme, care of 50 Cent, and his debut album, Get Rich or Die Trying, is from 2003. The track is called The Many Men. Get Rich or Die Trying is a favorite of mine, a special sentimental album because I was a big Eminem fan. And when I heard that Eminem was starting to produce other artists, I picked up 50 Cent's album. And I started listening to it back in my high school days. So I do know the track. It is unconventional because it was not a single. If anything, it's one of his more violent songs. One of 50 Cent's crappier songs, I guess you could say. Modern parlance, but I do get why the Guns picked it. Si Colton Gunn, tama ba ako? Colton's the shorter Gunn, right?
No. Colton's the taller one.
Okay, so si Austin Gunn, that's who I'm referring to. Austin Gunn said that when he picked that song, even if it didn't make sense for their team to walk out to such a slow starting song, he wanted to relay the message that now that they're on top, a lot of people, hence many men, are going to start gunning, pun intended, after them. And nagets ko yung concept na yun because I can also relate to the Guns. Diba? They have also been on the record saying na underappreciated sila, and I can relate to that because they are a tag team with a chip on their shoulder. Kahit champions na sila, feeling nila lahat ng tao, kinakalaban pa rin sila. And really, that chip on their shoulder, I think that can just lead to a lot of great things for them. So I really like that that Tony Khan is flexing his wallet again in terms of acquiring licensed music. And I really like listening to hip-hop on the wrestling TV.
Before this, all I knew about 50 Cent was In the Club. Yun lang yung alam kong kanta ni 50 Cent. But
that's
this one,
child, yes.
Yeah, but this one, I dig the song so much that I added it in my personal playlist. It's just such a cool song. And ano siya, it gives you the vibes of, di ba yung mga sa boxing, yung entrance theme, usually hip-hop. This is like a theme you would hear at a boxing match. And for it to be used in wrestling, it's so out of the blue. It's so different. Because usually the wrestling, this is the normal wrestling theme song and how they sound. Like, this is not a typical wrestling theme song. And yeah, so I dig this because it's different. Yeah, and it's cool because it's 50 Cent, diba? Like it's one of the best rappers of all time. So
yeah, I don't have a lot of thoughts on this. It is an unconventional pick, so it's not a match, it's not anything. I will say, it's nice to have a boss like Tony Khan who is unhinged, but he will buy you the popular recording artist music that you like. So sana all may ganung power, may ganung pera.
Ito, question like if you could ask Tony Khan to buy a song for you to use as an entrance theme, what song it would be? Like syempre dapat mainstream yun eh. So if there's like one mainstream song that TK can buy for you, what would it be?
Larger Than Life, Backstreet Boys.
You got it going on, Backstreet Boys.
Oh, it's you, Chino.
No, I have a serious answer.
No, my answer was very serious.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
My answer was very, very serious. I used it in training once.
Okay, Mark Ronson, Uwi.
Ako Uptown Funk. Bruno Mars.
Okay.
Yan.
So you want to be a Funkasaurus, I see.
Yeah. It's a fun. I think it will be fun if you go out to Uptown Funk. Like people will clap and dance along.
Although I have started walking out to Ultimate Warrior's theme music during my shows. For some reason it works. I don't know. I can't explain it.
All right, let's get to the next pick, which is mine. It's from Monday Night Raw, the Intercontinental Championship defense between Gunther and Kofi Kingston. And we've gushed about Gunther so much over the last couple of years that it's becoming one of the stereotypical picks now for this episode. But with Kofi Kingston, I appreciate how he got to the Chad Gable level of he makes you care enough to think he might actually pull this off. And that's the Kofi Kingston arc naman talaga, diba? Even before Kofi Mania, he's always been very good at getting you invested in the match. But in the 5 years since, we haven't really seen Kofi come close to that singles star level where he gets to be a singles champion. So it's nice now for about 15 minutes, I got to believe in Kofi Mania once again. And he tried to go into his deep bag of tricks to try to confuse Gunther and to one-up him. But ultimately, just like Gunther's big chops, he was able to swat Kofi down like a fly and defeat him. It was one of those. It was fun while it lasted matches. And it's great to see Kofi do his thing once again, especially matching up against someone like Gunther.
This was a match I never thought I would enjoy, but I really enjoyed it. And you can see that Gunther's really having fun with these matches, though. And the one thing I really dig, though, was at the end when Kaiser and Vinci just beat the hell out of Xavier and Kofi. Because it reestablished them as a threat. Because, like, we have been saying this before, and when they went up to the main roster, for a while, nagbuka silang goons. But here, they look like a threat. And this reestablishes Imperium as, a deadly stable. Now, all of them can, like, fuck you up at any point, at any time. So,
yeah, alam mo ano kulang sa Imperium? Babae. Babae.
Yeah.
Complete
ano?
the circle. You think I'm kidding, but
which white-skinned Aryan female are you gonna add to Imperium?
Si Alba Fire.
Paghiwalayin yun na si
Done
Alba
nga
Fire
dapat
tsaka si Isla Dawn. Anyway, no. I like how all the vets are getting a run at Gunther. I like how they got the Miz in there, the Chad Gable, now you got Kofi. Just everybody just getting a chance to work with an athlete in the caliber of Gunther is great because it legitimizes Gunther when he does inevitably go after the main title, diba? Or when he drops his Intercontinental title to somebody deserving. I did feel the same way as Stan when he said that I thought Kofi was going to do it. In the same way that I thought the Miz was going to do it and Chad Gable was going to do it. So after a while, na-realize ko na hindi. Baka isa-chop lang ulit ni Gunther to. But I still kept watching, because you watch NASCAR for car wrecks, diba? That's the thing that they say. And I watched Gunther because I like seeing him beat the living hell out of people. So I also really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, so there's been a recurring theme when it comes to Gunther's feuds, which you don't actually do see sa mga feuds of Roman. Like Gunther is out here taking yung mga weirdo, silly gimmicks and forcing them to step up and be serious again when they face him. So you got the Alpha Academy, you got Chad Gable going at it, got the fucking Miz, right? Then now you have both members of the New Day, diba? Shedding their silly shtick for a while just to go after and get a crack at Gunther, diba? So that's pretty cool. I enjoy that part. And I don't know if a lot of people are picking up on that because that's mid-card magic right there. Emile, Chino, I've already said it. What their favorite parts? You've already said your favorite parts, and I agree with all that. I enjoy the fact that Kofi can just do whatever out there, and then at a drop of a hat, but he can go back into serious mode and putting out 15-minute legit fights, almost shoot fights out there. Despite being for lack of a better word, a kid's act for the past decade. So that's pretty awesome. That's what it means to be a professional at the highest level. So sana all ganun. Sana ako rin ganun.
Let's stay with Raw here and go to Emile's pick.
Right, my pick is from Raw. It's the DIY. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa going up against Damian Priest and Finn Balor of the Judgment Day for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. As I'm a big DIY fan, and I am so happy that they're slowly getting over in the main roster as we go along. And I hope this isn't the last that we see them go after the tag titles. And this was a great opener for Raw. I mean, both teams knew the assignment and was to go out and energize the crowd with this fast-paced action. Definitely in the wheelhouse of DIY. And the thing that amazes me about DIY recently is that every week they would come out to a quiet crowd, but by the end of the match, people will pop for them, and people even in this match, people were chanting DIY by the end of this match, and it is so satisfying to see them get over with their in-ring talent and with their in-ring skill, because they kind of did the same in NXT. That's how they got over as well back then. So tama nga yung pangalan ng team nila, do it yourself, because they're doing it themselves. And I am happy na the crowd is finally starting to appreciate this tag team, at least in the main roster, because they're beloved in NXT. But in the main roster, it has been a tough battle so far for them, for DIY. So this was a great match, and I hope again this isn't the last that we see DIY go after the tag team titles.
Sana hindi, no?
Yeah.
Sorry, go Chino.
I actually think DIY and the Judgment Day are going to face off at Mania. I think that's where it's going to end up. I can see it happening. Kasi ang problema sa DIY is because they've been marred with so many injuries that they have been nearly forgotten by the larger WWE audience. You gotta understand, na kahit favorite natin sila sa NXT, Black and Gold was quite some time ago. A lot of people don't even know what it is now. Kasi namayagpag na yung 3.0, right? And we have successful products out of that era, or this current era of NXT. So for DIY to debut or re-debut in the main roster again after both of them are fully recuperated, it's going to take some time for people to get used to, kasi they don't really know what DIY is. Diba? There have been segments explaining that, and I am glad for those segments, kasi not for those, parang magbubuka lang silang random team, and it doesn't make sense to start cheering for DIY in that sense, because I am a DIY fan, like Emile. I do love that particular period in the Black and Gold era of NXT, and I am glad that they are getting a push. Kaya feeling ko talaga, this is just the Triple H and company's way of slowly introducing and giving them that slight push that they need just before the Judgment Day drop the titles to them at Mania.
Yeah, that would be interesting if DIY were to actually have a match against the Judgment Day at Mania. Kasi the main roster is so stacked na kind of like last year, ang dami sa kanila na likely hindi mabubook for the WrestleMania card for both night 1 and night 2. And, I love Gargano and Ciampa, but I'm having trouble imagining them in any spot right now. So, sana magdilang ang Hell Chino. Maybe this actually does happen. I don't know what it'll take for Gargano and Ciampa to get the same type of fan reaction or the same type of emotional investment that the NXT audience was able to invest in them all those years ago. In many ways, it does feel like a restart talaga. And sayang, kasi there wasn't a way to seamlessly build on that momentum that they had from NXT straight to the main roster, again, because of the injuries, partially because of the pandemic as well, and yung regime change, and then Gargano leaving, then coming back. So I don't know what it's going to take for them to recapture that magic. I hope that they do, though, kasi you can see that Triple H is actually investing creatively in DIY kahit papano. Otherwise, we wouldn't even be talking about them in the first place, diba? So, yun. Here's to hoping that things pick up for them.
Yeah. I actually know what it takes. And they were actually trying to do that nung match na yun, the actual match. So they were trying to that was like a takeover level match that DIY did versus Judgment Day. And I have not seen that kind of match from either man in a while. And it's been more than a minute. And the fact that it was no commercials, no hour na yun, that particular match, I knew that they were doing a takeover thing. Triple H just wanted to let them cook as much as they could. And that's a Tony Khan play. And, it's not always bad. You should let your wrestlers wrestle. And especially if they're good wrestlers. So I like that that's what they did here with DIY. And I mean, it's like there's like Triple H throwing a bone to the two guys that he promised a lot for, but didn't really get to do that because of one reason or another, or other stories that need to be told. So I appreciate that they got this opportunity. I agree that I hope they get another opportunity in a bigger stage, and never know.
Hi, he's Chico Garcia.
And he's Gino Killiamore.
We're the hosts of Only Fun.
In our podcast, we explore the boundaries of our pleasure.
And test the limits of our pain?
It's business in the front.
And party in the rear? Wait, what? Wait, we talk about shows that we watch that might, be entertaining for everyone else, right?
Yep, that's what I said. Check out our podcast. New episodes out Wednesdays and Fridays.
No drama, only fun.
All right, let's go to Impact. We don't go to Impact very often for our picks of the week, and it's Ro who picked an Impact match this week.
Kala mo, Chino lang.
Surprising, to be honest.
No, there is a reason why we should go to Impact more. It's because of the new acquisitions that they got.
Which is yung video ni Monday Night Rowan.
Yeah. I forgot to congratulate the people. Forgot to congratulate the people for appearing in TNA canon. Official na kayong
You're now all part of the Impact Zone. We did it, guys.
You are now part of the Impact Zone.
We did it, guys.
I wasn't in that video.
Actually, I was in the third floor, so
but we are in the Impact Zone.
Yeah.
So we should actually be paying more attention to Impact because you got Nick Nemeth, you got GYV, you got Mustafa Ali who's coming in. So legit, he's the guy is everywhere, and the WWE alums are everywhere. And my pick is the main event that they had last Thursday. It was GYV. They're now the Grizzled Young Vets lang, not the veterans, versus ABC, Ace and Bay Club. So really, really good stuff. It's, your typical tag team wrestling in the indies na maraming spots. But, it's also the kind of tag team wrestling that we did see in NXT UK. So as you guys know, if you watch NXT UK, they were allowed to cook there. For those who don't, it's available on the WWE Network. But it was the kind of thing that I know the GYV wanted to do. I know that they weren't quite happy being the schism, right? Or being the, what were they called again? The
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 dyad.
dyad.
The dyad, yeah. So I know that they just wanted to straight up ball and not do the character work much. They tried, but they just wanted to ball. I know, because they just want to be, they just want to be soon recognized as the number one tag team in the world. So a lot of good stuff here. Ace and Bay are also, good partners for them, good dance partners. They were able to give what GYV wanted out of WWE and NXT, and it's a best of 3 match. So there are going to be 2 more matches for the tag team championship. Obviously, it's going to go down to the wire because what kind of wrestling best of 3 ends at game 2, diba? So please,
sweep.
I was actually going to say that too. Like, what
going to
if
be a
they
sad
sweep
look?
it?
That's going to be a sad look for the Bullet Club, diba? But again, it goes back to we should pay more attention to Impact kasi yung ginagawa nila of bringing in the former WWE guys, and now more than ever, it is what AEW was trying to do, and in some ways what WWE is trying to do in NXT, but it's worked the best so far, I think, for Impact. Or TNA, sorry. CNA now.
Yeah. I'm surprised na the ABC, or no, not the yung team nila are baby faces, considering they're part of they're still part of Bullet Club.
The Bang Bang Gang are also baby faces now. So what does it matter?
But they're not part of the
I still don't think
Bullet Club.
Huh? They are part of the Bullet Club. They're literally called the Bullet Club Gold.
Yeah, they're called ABC kasi American Bullet Club sila.
No, it's Ace and Bay Club.
All right, so yeah.
No, the original meaning of ABC.
Okay, sure.
But this was a great match, and the difference between the Dyad and them going back to the Grizzled Young Vets is like night and day. Kasi hindi ko talaga sila na-enjoy as Dyad eh. And now they're back to their old gimmick, and it really fits them because they are great wrestlers. They have this style that is gritty. That it fits with the image of TNA, which is really great wrestling. I feel like because it's a best of 3 match, they're holding back a bit because they don't want to blow all their load in one match, considering they will have 2 more matches to go. So kabang-abang yung match 2 and 3, because I think they still have more to offer, and those matches are gonna be, I think, better than this one.
Yeah, special mention to Steve Macklin, of all people. I'm going to be ito kasama sa match. But the build-up they're doing with him against Nick Nemeth is pretty good. I want to pay a particular attention to that. But the match, as for the tag team main event, it was also pretty good. This was my favorite match out of the entire week. If I had to actually pick a wrestling match, gun to my head, this would be it. Kasi tama yung sinabi nila lahat. They let these 4 guys do their thing. Diba? GYV was always just about the wrestling, and they were able to get back to their roots in this match-up. I will agree na bakit nga yung sweep lang sila. Diba? Kasi kawawa naman. Bakit ka talaga? No, I was just fucking with you. But like, I do agree na parang down to the wire talaga. Because they have to make the most out of GYV as well. Diba? They really need to do with GYV what they I feel like failed to do with Subculture. I don't even know where the
God, Jesus Christ.
That
was a huge waste.
Yeah, I don't even know. Si Danny Luna na lang nakakita ko. And that sucks.
Didn't someone get injured? Like Mark Andrews or something?
Oo nga pala. Yeah. But but bottom line is si Danny Luna na lang yung natira sa Subculture.
Yeah.
And the TNA roster, which sucks. But GYV is there to fill the gap in terms of British wrestling. If you missed your NXT UK days, this was a great makeup for it.
Yeah. My favorite part of what GYV did was seeing James Drake just hold a guy in like a chin lock or something, and then absorb niya yung mga hataw ng kalaban. And then Zach Gibson will come in and strike with like a drop kick or something. So it's not very often that you see tag team offense that way, where one guy sacrifices himself and takes the offense from the opponents, waiting for the other guy to charge from a distance. So that was something unique. I don't recall the last time I actually saw it. So I appreciated what Zach Gibson and James Drake have been doing there. And like you guys, I also did miss seeing GYV in action dating back to their time in NXT UK. So it's nice to see them just be themselves again. And as their mantra, they are soon to be recognized as the world's #1 tag team. We're going to close things out here with Bayley's WrestleMania decision, which was Rowan's pick. And we talked about this nung weekend reactions episode natin yesterday. But in case you didn't catch that, let's run through yung mga points ni Rowan. First off, great callback to 2005 when Batista was eavesdropping dun sa shit-talking session in a Ric Flair and Triple H. So this time, Bayley is in the Batista spot while Io and the Kabuki Warriors are in the Triple H and Flair spots. Sabi ni Rowan, predictable yung pagpili ni Bayley kay Io as a WrestleMania opponent, but predictable doesn't mean bad kasi the story and the execution have been pretty good. Sabi rin ni Rowan na he's glad that Bayley is the babyface again, but he thinks that she can still work as a face even with a damage control gimmick or even with whatever gimmick she'll have moving forward after splitting from damage control. Apparently, Rowan doesn't want her to be the hugger again and to bring back the Bayley buddies. I also think that Bayley's kind of over that. Diba? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think she's going to bring that anytime soon.
I still have her shirt on, so hopefully.
have her tank as well, though.
I mean,
But
siguro, I think there should be a balance between the old and the new.
No, I think yung current character niya is already pretty much her. Like, it's her normal self na na-tone down na yung mga heel tendencies niya from a couple of years ago, diba?
Yeah, I doubt that she'll start calling Corey Graves an idiot for one kasi Michael Cole's not there anymore. Yeah. Tapos, Rowan wonders now with the damage control infighting, which side will Dakota Kai be on? So sabi ni Rowan, he's quoting King Solomon from the Bible, and he wants for Dakota to be cut in half and give each half to Bayley and Io. So,
that's a wild goal to draw from, Rowan.
Sino yung magiging nanay sa kanila?
Yeah, that's a wild.
I mean, I was okay with the Bayley and Io ladder match for the custody of Dakota Kai, but draw from King Solomon of all characters.
Sa lahat ng pwede mong paghugutan talaga ng quote yung pinaka-brutal yung na
That is Rowan ASH for you guys.
Somebody needs to talk to that boy. My God. I did not expect a King Solomon quote in the middle of this episode.
In the words of Booker T, that boy got problems. So we've already told you our thoughts on Bayley's WrestleMania decision. So if you haven't got them yet, go check out our weekend reactions episode, which should be up on your feeds by the time you're hearing this.
Although interesting yung sinabi niya about
King Solomon.
Like which side is Dakota going to be on? And I told the Discord server this, like, she's gonna side with Bayley until such a point where Dakota's gonna screw Bayley, and then she will join. She will go back to damage control. I think yan yung mangyayari. Kasi kailangan din ng pambalanse, because if it's gonna be Bayley going up against this trio alone, so parang lugi. So
counterpoint. I think Dakota Kai chooses Io and the Kabuki Warriors right away kasi kailangan nila ng interpreter.
Yeah.
And two,
all right.
When Randy Orton was the babyface against Triple H, Batista, and Flair, no one was crying foul saying, Randy Orton needs rest back here.
Alright, that's fair.
Which side will Batista choose?
Yeah, exactly.
So I think Dakota Kai stays with the Japanese contingent.
Yeah, ako din. Kasi I don't think it works kung tatlo silang nagja-Japanese ng sabay-sabay. Like, you know what I mean? Like I know Bayley understands Japanese, but I don't understand Japanese. So how are they gonna communicate whatever they want to say to people like me? Diba?
Yeah.
Not just that. I thought they were teasing Dakota being part of the Mean Girls, because in their segments, she was also awkward. She was also very visibly othering Bayley.
Oh, you did. Yeah, tama.
Yeah, kaya naman ni Dakota, diba? We've seen her be a mean girl on NXT, and while she's recovering, while she's rehabbing her knee, it gives her something to do by being the mouthpiece of Asuka, Kairi, and Io.
Yeah.
Those are our thoughts sa picks of the week for this episode. Let us know what you think. You know where to find us. It is at Wrestling2XPod on TikTok and on Twitter. We're going to catch you tomorrow on our weekly live stream 7 p.m. sa ating Facebook page. And on YouTube, it is at Wrestling Podcast. Thank you very much to Babyface producer Jasper and all of the producers over on the Pod Network for all of the work that they do behind the scenes. We got to get out of here and end this episode of the Wrestling Podcast. On behalf of Ro Moran, Chino Liao, and Emile Nate, my name is Stan C, saying stay safe, stay healthy, and don't be a dick. Wrestling Podcast. Out. Later, weirdos.
Peace, outcasts.
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company, or individual.